There's something about music that helps us really talk about some of our feelings and talk about love in a deeper, fuller way, because I don't know, there's like a freedom to be able to talk about it in a way that isn't colloquial. I don't know if you guys have noticed that in today's music, maybe how.
So are you referring to like desire and like what the artists are trying to to say in their music, like the hidden message?
Well, that's actually a good point, because on the surface, sometimes it looks like it's just, human love. But, as Catholics, we realize like there's something deeper to our desire there.
Yeah, it's like that longing of the heart, which you're able to kind of see that it is in everybody, even though it's disordered. And sometimes even lyrics, I know Keith knows some good ones off the top of his head. But yeah, you're able to kind of see that everybody longs for the same thing. They're just like looking and searching in the wrong places.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah, there
Who
you
was
go.
that? I don't remember.
No, I think it's something we've spoken about before, which is the twisted mystics is the term that Christopher West uses. But I think in art reflects this interior state, our desires, our sorrows, our weaknesses, our joys, and that language is somewhat universal. And I think you see it, really for me, I see it when you look into old Americana, you look like Bob Dylan and some of the classic greats, and you see it so vividly in what they write, Simon and Garfunkel, and but then you see it also in some of the more modern stuff. I think top of my head, you were saying U2. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, or All I Want Is You. Right, these lyrics that are just piercingly clear in what they're about and what he's striving for. You see Peter Gabriel. That to me is probably one of the best ones. Is Peter Gabriel with "In Your Eyes I See the Doorway to 1,000 Churches" and the resolution to all the useless searching. So I think we see that. I think we see it in art. This longing and love, and it may be phrased differently, but it's never phrased so differently that we don't see that common theme.
Yeah,
It's so funny that you bring up that Peter Gabriel song. It just reminds me, just kind of a side anecdote. We used to do this retreat in college, and there was a moment in the retreat where we kind of went on this trust walk where we're blindfolded, and everything's just kind of it's a way of entering into silence and meditation and all that, and also just trust because we're being led. And we're led into a room where there's a picture of Jesus, and that song is playing. And I did that retreat so many times in college that
awesome.
it became a joke. But the song really is beautiful, and there's a reason why we would use it in that moment of the retreat, because it does kind of speak to a lot of the longings of the heart.
It's great that you're able to recognize it at that point, because I've heard used a lot of songs on retreat. I always remember Bright Eyes was always used on high school retreats, and I never paid attention to it. It was always like a joke, like, oh, this 80s song again. But yeah, we never really paid attention to the deeper meaning behind everything.
But I think if you look at musicians today, so many of them will they'll speak about how they were influenced by some of these greats. And there's a tradition. We're storytellers by nature. That's what we are. We're storytellers. And music is a way to do that. And it's amazing to see how you can learn about love and beauty from someone else's appreciation of love and beauty. And one of my favorite books starts with an opening where that's what it says. He says, I didn't like jazz until I watched someone play jazz for 30 minutes without ever opening their eyes. And after that, I loved it, because sometimes you need to see someone else love something before you can love it. And I think art does that for us. It gives us an example that maybe if we haven't experienced, we experience it through art.